Right, Little Cayman.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
there are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
And good afternoon, Radio Cayman Nation, and a very happy Thursday to you. Thank you for tuning to the station of the nation, Radio Cayman. I'm Ray Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We have in studio Mr. Brent Hayes and Ms. Sutton Burke here today, discussing the Hope Foundation and some of the hopes and goals that the foundation has. And then later in the show, we'll be sitting down with the Cayman Islands Humane Society. And then potentially later in the show, open line at 2 o'clock. As always, we do welcome your stories, feedback, and questions and invite you to join the conversation. Simply dial 949-6990 or you can WhatsApp us at 925-3261. Back with more Talk Today following this very brief disclaimer.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Live Communication.
Let your voice be heard.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. A quick Santa sighting underway for tonight. Reminder to those out in the Eastern Districts. The Coca-Cola Eastern District pop-up event is tonight, or this afternoon rather, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Cox Lumber parking lot in Bottomtown. And then later in the show, we will be, as part of our Christmas giveaway week, we'll be giving away a $100 gift certificate for CUC. But now, to our two guests in studio. Good afternoon, Mr. Brent and Ms. Sutton. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Brent, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yes, it's always a privilege of me to be on Radio Cayman talking about such a delicate subject. Recovery and people in our community that are caught up in substance abuse. From where I'm sitting, I'm sure Miss Burke would understand this also. It's not one of those favorite popular conversations that we be sitting on at our dining room table talking about every afternoon. So we get this window and we embrace it and talk about substance abuse and how, as a community, we can just simply make a difference in the lives of those that are hurting and struggling with addiction.
We're now at the end of 2023, but any milestones this year for the Hope Foundation?
Yes, the Hope Foundation has a dream again. We're dreaming big. Where we have been talking to a gentleman in the Hope Foundation is possibly may actually open a new home, a different home. We'll have that, which will give us 2 homes to assist people in our community. Or we were talking about shuffling around some beds where we be taking out the bigger beds and putting smaller beds in the home where we could accommodate. Instead of accommodating 10 people, we'd be in a position of accommodating 15 to 16 individuals.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to shuffle things around a little.
You're doing a little shuffling.
And this we have talked to with Mr. Ebanks. We kind of run this by him, so we're hoping with going forward in 2024 we'll be able to get this ball rolling.
Congratulations. So remind our listeners, where is your current home?
Hope for Today Foundation is located at 348 Birch Tree Hill. And the nice thing about where Hope is located is that we have neighbors, and these neighbors actually embrace the guys that are at the home. Because the funny thing about this whole setup thing is we have to be so mindful where we try to put these homes. And that's the tricky part of finding a home that we can put into the community that people would embrace. Because you got to understand that once we open a halfway house, the neighbors may complain because the halfway house then drops the value of their property.
Sure.
So we have to be really careful of where we go, where we try to get one, and to find good, big-hearted people to be able to get a home of that.
Your second home, are you looking in the West Bay area as well, or are you going somewhere further east?
We haven't given that a lot of thought, but we're actually thinking about moving it out of West Bay, but we haven't given it a whole lot of thought.
Okay.
Right now we're talking about it, and we're hoping come early January that we be in a position between myself and the board to make a final decision with what we're going to do, whether we're going to put some beds in the house we have at present,
Sure.
or we're going to be looking for a new home.
Now,
whatever is feasible financially.
Now, are you at capacity in your current?
It's 10.
It is, you're fully at 10 people?
Yes, at the moment we're full.
And then for our listeners again, if you remind them, how is your halfway house or the Hope for Today Foundation funded? Like, where do you get your funds from to make this happen for the community?
We are happy to miss the deputy premier and his ministry. They have embraced the foundation and the work that we're actually doing in the community, and I think together we make a good fit. Because we got Mr. Ray Roberts, who is actually a counselor by trade himself, that understands the benefits of having such a facility. And we look at the costs of running Hope for Today Foundation. Just off the top of my head, we can run Hope for Today Foundation with approximately about $160,000 annually, and we can hold 10 people. And you look at the cost of running the home compared to housing a prisoner in Northwood per year. Sure. I mean, you look at 10 people, and just roughly, if we're looking at almost $1 million, it would cost government to house 10 people in Northwood. Hope Foundation can do it with a structured program to assist these guys with not only jobs, but put them in a position where they can actually focus on their rehabilitation. We work real closely with Sat and her organization, where we do groups at the home. So we allow them to have group counseling. They can also get some counseling at the counseling center. I mean, the program is so structured that one seeking recovery, it has all the stuff that one would need to find recovery and to maintain recovery.
And then for the individuals that are at the home itself, are they coming straight out of prison, or are you getting referrals from elsewhere? Or what is the setup to
Yes, most of the residents that enter the Hope for Today Foundation Rehabilitation Center comes out of Northwood Prison, or they're recommended by the counseling center, or they're recommended by probation and rehabilitation office through the courts. Usually, for most part, if they're coming from prison, they would have to be bailed directly through the courts to enter the program. But the relationship that the foundation has with the courts is number one. I don't want to get into too much detail, but there was an article about a particular individual that was bailed to Hope for Today Foundation, who has committed a crime, and he was 15 years old. He has spent his entire young life in jail, and the magistrate looked at our program with the relationship we have with Intimate Mindcare and said, this is the place we want him to go. And we look at that because we're structured. We're structured to the point where, again, if one is seeking recovery, they can find it at Hope for Today Foundation, as long as they're willing to do the work.
And as far as their longevity within staying in the home, Is it until they are fully able to sustain themselves?
Well, there's a decision that's made between management and the Probation and Rehabilitation Office. If they're there by the court, then we'll collaborate a report to the court recommending or suggestion. Some people would leave when it's not recommended because many times they would feel they're at the point where they can take care of themselves, but that doesn't mean that the foundation or probation would support their decision. In many cases, sometimes we have no control over that. But if it was left to hopefully their foundation, we would recommend and suggest that somebody stay in the program at least 6 months. Now, they can be there up to a year, depending on how the program is laid out, because many people will come to the program, and what we'll have is IOP.
IOP?
Yeah.
What
intensive
is
outpatient?
Intensive outpatient.
Intensive outpatient treatment.
Or they may be sent
Programming.
to relapse prevention. Or it may be recommended to go to early recovery. There's a bunch of stuff that these guys may be engaged in that would hold them back sometimes from picking up a full-time job.
Sure.
You know, your program can get so intense that holding on a job may not be relevant at that time. So whatever the program is, the foundation will continue to try to work with them and accommodate them for as long as necessary for them to maintain their recovery, pick up a full-time job, be able to leave the halfway house to the place where they have funds and a regular income that they can sustain their life and their recovery. And I've seen many people come in and they leave laughing. They leave laughing and grinning and smiling, and they leave with their car keys. And I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see somebody come into a place broken, beaten, absolutely bankrupt, and to see them drive up with the keys in their hand for a car, keys for their own apartment. Now they get boss and stuff after that, though. I mean, they're like, they can get pretty cocky after they start getting all this stuff.
I bet.
But that's okay too.
That's
you know?
okay.
That's okay too.
That's
okay too. But yeah, it's just to see someone rebuild their life and start rebuilding relationships.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like last night, I was having a conversation with a particular guy who has a kid, and sometimes I don't think individuals would recognize the damage that they cause when they get into recovery and they start to rebuild that relationship with their significant other, but most of all their kid. And 3 months later, they fall off the wagon. I don't think they realize the damage that they do to the young kid.
Of course.
And every time they do that, they're creating more and more and more damage to the place where the kid may grow up and fall into the same grips of abusing substances. But the fact is that he may develop a resentment to the point where he may never want to talk to the mom or dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of trauma that happens as a result. On that note, let's go to our quick commercial break, and then when we come back, Sutton, let's bring in the conversation and talk about how Infinite Mindcare can help and how they do help. Back with more talk today, right after this.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what, though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles until December 31st, 2023. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Hey! This Christmas is all about you. Yeah, boy. Flow brings the joy and better value.
With daily prizes of iPhones, iPads, laptop, and gift vouchers this Christmas when you sign up for broadband. Pay your bill on time and in full, or activate a 30-day prepaid plan.
This Christmas is all about you. I'm telling you, boy. Flow brings the joy and better value.
Flow, connecting hearts and homes this Christmas. Visit discoverflow.co for more details. Conditions apply.
Flow brings the joy and better value.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
What's going on?
When they don't know what they want for Christmas, where do you go? Cellular World. When they do know what they want for Christmas, where do you go? Cellular World. When you need a new phone, where do you go? Cellular World. Who has the biggest selection of phone cases, headphones, and accessories? Cellular World. Who has the best service for mobile phone repairs? Cellular World. This holiday season, shop Cellular World, Cayman's one-stop shop for phones, accessories, and repairs. Located in Baytown Plaza, West Bay Road, across from the wharf. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Cellular World.
I love Pizza Boat. It's yummy. It has my two favorite things combined, cheese and boats. Pizza Boat makes pizza way more fun.
Hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Kids, now Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. Lunch or dinner, let Pizza Boat bring the fun. Pizza Boat, a Cayman twist to pizza, bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky.
Listening to the general public.
The Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Because
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk
waiting to take your calls right now.
Talk Today.
What the public is saying.
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And again, pleased to have in studio Mr. Brent Hides from the Hope for Today Foundation and Ms. Sutton Burke from Infinite Mindcare. And we've been chatting about some of the really profound work that the Hope for Today Foundation has been doing over this year and their goals for the future. And now we're going to put Ms. Sutton into the hot seat and talk a bit more about the other side of the coin of rehabilitation and the work that you do.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you so much for having me here. And, we are very grateful to go over to the house and offer 2 groups per month with our recovery service supervisor leading them and all the men in the house on a variety of topics. I think it's really important that our groups are just very open, direct, allowing the guys in the group to talk about anything that they want to talk about, that nothing is off limits, really removing that shame that ends up, being a trigger, causing a relapse, just sitting in shame because you have something stuck in your head that you feel like is so bad that if you told anybody, it would be a lot worse. And using might help push that down a little bit. So yeah, we're really happy to be doing those and continuing that relationship for 2024. Something that Brent touched on is the idea of opening up another house and really the stigma around that and the location. I do understand for neighbors, the concern there are some valid concerns, for that. However, but it also just speaks of that stigma and also a misunderstanding oftentimes of people in recovery. And if we think about going into the holidays now and, big family celebrations, this is a very happy and festive time, a lot of events going on, and people inviting over their family members or their friends who are in recovery, who they even know are in recovery, but just not quite understanding the impact on that person and what that might be like and how those conversations may be going. Sure. If they're offered a drink or, if they're, around certain people, places, and things during that time, what that's actually doing for their loved one. Just, it's hard to understand unless you've been through it yourself or you've read up on it, you've asked the questions to see how someone is doing and what they need to be supported during that time.
So what are some of the things that families can do to support those that are actually going through this process?
I think, one thing that Brent said, before we got on air was, the need for a loved one to have someone with them, have a buddy with them when they go to events. And it's that understanding whether or not, they're bringing one of their sponsor to dinner or they're bringing a friend in recovery or just someone that they can really trust and knowing that, embracing whoever they bring with them. That's certainly, one easy way to support their loved one. Also not pushing anything, not pushing anything on them, to just have one glass of champagne because it's New Year's Eve and we're all celebrating, or to have, just take a sip of this because I made this special eggnog that I made or this special drink,
Sure.
That it's okay for you to have, and really just, before asking them maybe if there's anything that they need to feel comfortable, understanding if their loved one has to step out, that's okay. If they need to leave early, not to make it a big deal that their loved one did not stay the entire time. Certainly not in front of everybody, which sometimes can happen. No, please don't leave. We want you here. You've only been. Why are you late? Why are you leaving early? So,
of course, and it's it's funny because you mentioned those things, and it immediately took it back to like my college days. Those are the things you would hear at your college parties, right?
Sure.
And those are the lines that you heard, and that's what
it's that pressure, and then
pressure right?
And for some people, they're okay with it. And what we would like to work with when we're working with people in recovery is to be able to take all of that and hear the peer pressure or from family and be able to just let it roll off them and still set their boundaries.
Sure.
And keep on moving. And that's the practice, but that's a everyday practice that is not so easy.
Yeah, and you find that not everybody can do that. I mean, you find that some people are so fragile. What I've always recognized, particularly when people would go to family parties or company socials, and they're hanging out with their buddies or their friends, is if they simply say, I'm not drinking today. You got these people that are probably under the influence and say, you're weak and you're this and you're that. I mean, all the name calling,
sure,
and all the rundown names that people be called just because they simply say, I'm not drinking today.
It's funny because
so
it does happen.
it's sometimes so much, it's the attitude of the people that you're socializing with. Because there's many people that say, they clap their hands and they take their hats off to you because you're
Absolutely,
not drinking. And then there's the bully individual that's going to completely say something so unnecessary.
And
Very
it's
true.
hard and I think in someone actively in recovery and working on themselves, going to the groups. I'm sure Raquel did this, last month of talking to the guys about, how we handle these conversations. But sometimes when you're in that moment, it's so hard to be able to handle that conversation. Either anxiety is up
Absolutely.
and, the shame and embarrassment. And it would be nice if, people just knew to just be respectful and I think what's interesting in the year 2023, going into 2024 is there is such a focus on health and there's so many people who are not drinking. And I think that would be speaking to the people in recovery is to know that, this is for your recovery. This is for your health and it's perfectly okay and even healthy in so many ways, more than one, to say, no, I'm not drinking.
So slightly different angle to this question. For those who are not necessarily in recovery but are looking to make some changes to their lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
What are the tips you can actually offer on, and I appreciate this is a very broad question, but and it's individualized for so many people, but what are some tips you can offer on how to start that first few steps of the journey?
The first thing I would recommend is that they start tracking how much they currently drink. So, get like your notes in your phone. And when you go out and you're like, oh, I'm going to have like one drink tonight, and just start like writing out like how many drinks did you actually have? So you can see it. And sometimes when we have that journal and we have that note, that also helps you get into that mindset of like, oh, wow, like I said I was only going to have one, but really I have 5. Or, I said I wasn't going to drink at all, but then I had this conversation. It kind of gives you insight into your choices and into some of those pressure and triggers for you. Also is to start writing down activities and looking at your life and what activities that you can engage in that have no alcohol around. Okay. What are some just things that you really enjoy that are more healthy activities? It doesn't have to be all exercise. It doesn't have to be all meditation and yoga, but just thinking about things that you can do that you really enjoy, that gives you joy, that doesn't require drinking, and how can you start fitting those things in your schedule? So as opposed to looking at it as like, I'm giving up, it's like, what am I gaining?
Sure.
And I think that's like a good mind frame to start getting in if that's what you're wanting to do. Also, what we tell people who are wanting to get in recovery, if this is, they don't necessarily, we kind of define things like, misusers, abusers, drug and alcohol dependent. So we're talking about people who maybe misuse alcohol, misuse drugs, writing down consequences of their use. So kind of just like writing out, we would start that like when people are starting off in recovery or, wanting to get help, like how has alcohol impacted you in a negative way? And start to think about it. And sometimes it's not, sometimes for some people it's DUI and jail. But sometimes it's like, oh, my girlfriend broke up with me or my boyfriend broke up with me, or every time I drink, I get in an argument with my family, or I lie, or I, am overly promiscuous when I don't want to. I put myself in dangerous situations. I spend, way more money than I would like to, which I think would probably be a big one for most people.
I'll turn things around.
Right?
Yeah.
And just looking at it. And people, and again, what we would do in counseling or, in IOP program, one of the first things people do is start tracking how much money were they spending when they were actively using, and how much money would they really save if they weren't.
Sure.
Those are all little motivating things, I think,
of course.
to start with.
They are.
Evaluating people, places, and things that are not healthy for you.
So like your social circle.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Who would be the ones that are encouraging you to drink, encouraging you to go out, and you had not a great day at work. They're like, come on, let's get a drink at the bar, or why don't we have a glass of wine? Kind of really evaluating those things.
No, of course. And then so on a deeper level, because you mentioned earlier, I think Ara said dealing with shame in some of these group sessions. For those that are using substances as a way to escape their reality, not just to explore fun routes or hang out with their friends, but are quite literally dependent on escaping their current reality. How do you start that? Because this is a little bit of a deeper.
Absolutely.
So how do you approach that one?
So, some things are out of our control, right? Something like, especially when I think of like teens, like, one of the conversations we have a lot is like, your parents are your parents, like this is, as long as it's not like a severe abuse situation that they need to be removed from home. But it is like certain things are what they are. And it's like, how do we work within that framework? Escaping reality is really evaluating what are we escaping, and then trying to provide some hope of like that things can look differently. Like anything is possible, and it just we can change it today. And maybe, we're escaping reality. Who do we need to talk to about that? Do people know about that? Sometimes people know, and they're, keeping us in that area, in that stuck place.
Absolutely.
And, sometimes, you reach out to one person and they don't help you, and it's about then reaching out to more people until you find that one that's going to really be that support that you need or point you in the right direction. You're escaping reality. There's so many organizations in Cayman that you can reach out to just start talking about what does that mean? What does that look like? And how can we help you shift? Because if it's a matter of perception, is it a matter of your environment that you just can't take? You need a new environment. You're in abusive relationships, or just a relationship. It doesn't even have to be an abusive relationship. It could just be a relationship that's just not working for you.
Sure.
That's really not what you want, and you don't know how to get out of it, and you feel like you're stuck in that.
Yes.
I always am talking about we only have one life to live. It's one life, and we get to decide what it is. At any moment, we can make the change. And sometimes in order to make that change, I need help from others. Sometimes I need more help, one day than I might need the next, but I'm going to need that support of other people. And it's, just having that hope and that belief. And if you don't have it yourself, borrowing it from someone else, that something can be different. It is possible. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. On that note, I just got to notice that I skipped our break. So let's go to commercial break, and we come back. We'll dive more into the conversation with the Hope for Today. Back to More Talk Today right after this.
Jingle all the way into the season of incredible savings and wish granting with Digicel. This Christmas, get 25% off your Prime Bundle plan or postpaid bill for the next 6 months. With plans featuring social data, entertainment data, and more, Digicel keeps you connected and entertained all season long. But here's the real magic. Digicel could make your Christmas wish come true. Win a prize of your choice, from getting your rent paid to a new laptop or even a brand new car. Visit a Digicel store today, where dreams come true this holiday season.
Are you planning a social, an office party, or event over the holiday season? Make the most of your holiday party and leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go, with the option of a 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. Cater your holiday parties with Subway. Visit subway.ky for menu options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Hot Zone Sports invites you to visit their 2-location sports stores, Limar Village in West Bay and Cannon Place in Georgetown, for your Christmas shopping. With every purchase, you can enter a raffle to win gift certificates. Buy any slippers and get the next one half off. Everything is on sale, from 10% off and up for your last week of Christmas shopping. Footwear and apparel such as Nike, Jordan, Puma, Adidas, Reebok, Calvin Klein, and Tommy Hilfiger. Football jerseys, English Premier, La Liga, and Bundesliga. We offer names and numbers printing and also gift certificates. A wide selection of football shoes and accessories. Open daily at 9:30 a.m. and will close late for your last-minute shopping. On behalf of the management and staff, we thank you for shopping with us. Wishing you and your family best wishes for the holiday season.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
The holidays wouldn't be the same without a little boom from Fireworks Limited. Cayman's biggest firework discount megastore is now open behind Massive Equipment in Industrial Park. Fireworks Limited has a megastore full of new fireworks and offers huge volume discounts.
Stock up early and save big on the widest variety on island. Fireworks Limited is behind Massive in Industrial Park with tons of parking. Open until 6 p.m. every night and until 9 p.m. on December 23rd and 30th. Open Sunday, December 31st, 11 a.m. until 5 p.m.
Boom!
Check out fireworkslimited.com.
The 2023 Household Budget Survey is currently being conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office. The data collected from the survey will determine the items and the dollar value of these items that are included in the new Consumer Price Index basket of consumer goods and services for the Cayman Islands. Trained interviewers with identification cards from the ESO will visit 2,400 randomly selected households across all districts. The Household Budget Survey will run for 1 year, ending February 2024. Approximately 200 households will be interviewed each month. The interviews are confidential in accordance with a Statistics Act. No individual data will be published or disclosed. Survey data are exempt from Freedom of Information requests. For further information on any aspect of the Household Budget Survey, please contact the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
Listening to the general public.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
There are more questions than answers.
waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Ray Singh, filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. In just about 5 minutes until our 1 p.m. headline news, we have Mr. Brent Hayes and Ms. Sutton Burke here in studio discussing sobriety, general sobriety, not sobriety for the holidays, but sobriety in general. Brent, let's put you back on the spotlight. You were talking about in the break about when people make this change, when they hit that darker place of pain.
Yeah, I always believe that pain will bring about change in individuals' lives. But I also have to recognize the fact that, we can run and we can choose avenues to try to escape, actually trying to address the issues that we may be facing. And I think sometimes until one gets to that place to seek recovery and wants to become quite open with what's going on in their lives, they may never find recovery. I simply say, and I share it all the time, our secrets is what kill us. And if we don't open up and start sharing all the stuff that created this pain in our lives, we may never find recovery and be able to stay clean.
I think just what we were talking about on the break, those admitting those secrets and being open is going to be hard, and it's going to be really uncomfortable. It's going to be a lot of difficult conversations. It's going to be sitting in icky, horrible feelings that you don't want to feel. However, once you go through those feelings and you let yourself feel, you let yourself have those big tears, and you sit through difficulty, you say it out loud, then you see how you start to shed it, and it doesn't feel so heavy anymore, and you're able to start to get through it. I have a sign on our door that says the only way out is through. So the only way out of it is to just say it, get it out, sit with the feelings, and it doesn't last. That feeling doesn't have to last forever. You just have to work through the feeling. You have to just, let your body experience the feeling as opposed to escape it, which is what's been out, substances have been doing. And then we start moving.
Then we've been numb all our lives, and unless we open up and become quite open with what's going on and sharing whatever's happening, only when we do that we find that the healing process will begin.
There's nothing so bad. That's the biggest thing. With shame, I'm a bad person because I did this, because I said this, because I feel this, because I think this. There's nothing so bad. We work through it. It's all human stuff, especially, in the counseling world, and certainly, Brent and in having a halfway house and being in recovery for so long, everything that we hear, all the stories are just human stories. Some have major consequences, okay, they were consequences of that, but they're human stuff, and we can work through human stuff.
The great thing about it is it doesn't define.
It doesn't have to define you.
I think that's the tough one, right? Because when you live with it, you feel like it does define you, and it's tough to live and deal with it. So you try to escape it, and I can imagine it's a tough one for anybody looking to get it. Now, for those who are looking to actually make these steps, Brent, how can they get a hold of you? Where's the
if anyone in the community is actually struggling with any sort of addiction, whether it's mental health, drug addiction, I strongly suggest to contact one of the entities on the island. You know, we got the Counseling Center, we got Intimate Mindcare, we got On Course, we got halfway houses, we got Caribbean Haven. I mean, this island is equipped with all the tools to help any individual that are struggling. And reach out to someone. You're not alone. Open up, get honest with yourself. You don't have to fight and go through this misery. I call it misery. You don't have to handle all this misery all by yourself. If you're in recovery and you have intentions of going out somewhere, I would suggest that you carry a family member, a buddy, someone that knows you're in recovery. If you're hanging out with your family, and if you have these secrets where you've been hiding from them not knowing you're in recovery, I think it's time to tell them, time to open up and share a little piece of your life with them, or what's been going on. And for most of all, just have a safe and enjoy your holidays.
Thank you, Brent. Sutton, same to you. How can people get a hold of you at Infinite Mindcare, and what services, again, do you offer?
So at Infinite Mindcare, we offer outpatient counseling. We have multiple drug and alcohol treatment programs as well. We have an IOP program, which is 8 hours a week, 5 hours of individual therapy, 2 hours of neurofeedback, and 1 hour of family. All of our programs really require having someone who knows about your struggles and your desire for recovery to participate with us in that program. They can, please like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram, but definitely call our office, 926-0882. Send us an email, and in the email, if you talk to us about drugs and alcohol, I'm immediately going to put you in touch with our recovery services supervisor, who can figure out what kind of program is best for you, or, maybe our program isn't the best and there's a better service on island for you, and we certainly make those recommendations all the time.
Fantastic. Thank you both so much for coming in, and all the best for the Christmas season.
Yes.
And 2024. And good luck with the second location you're working on. Thank you so much. On that note, we're going to our 1 p.m. headline news. When we come back, we'll be sitting down with the Cayman Islands Humane Society. Back with more talk today after this.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Ministry of Education announces a one-time grant of $1,200 to children receiving funding through the Early Childhood Assistance Program. This initiative aims to directly alleviate financial strain on 120 vulnerable families by covering at least 1 month of tuition fees at registered early childhood centers. In international news, feminist figures have criticized French President Emmanuel Macron over his defense of the actor Gérard Depardieu. In an interview, President Macron said Depardieu was the largest of a manhunt and added France's highest honor, the Legion of Honor, should not be withdrawn from him. Depardieu has been accused of sexual assault or harassment by 13 women and was filmed making obscene remarks in a documentary released this month. He denies any wrongdoing. An 18-year-old hacker who leaked clips of a forthcoming Grand Theft Auto game has been sentenced to an indefinite hospital order. Aryan Kurtaj from Oxford, who has autism, was a key member of international gang Lapsus. The gang's attacks on tech giants including Uber, Nvidia, and Rockstar Games cost the firms nearly $10 million. The judge said Kurtaj's skills and desire to commit cybercrime meant he remained a high risk to the public. He will remain at a secure hospital for life unless doctors deem him no longer a danger. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
It's one of the best moments of your life when you welcome your baby into the world. The HSA's experienced women's health and maternity team provides the highest quality of care throughout your pregnancy and delivery. As a JCI accredited hospital, we are the leader in maternal care, safely delivering over 700 babies annually. Visit hsa.ky for more information. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman Brac, on the 8th day of July 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the 5th child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott enjoyed a fulfilling career at sea spanning more than 50 years. He was ahead of his time, employing his mathematical and computer skills to create payroll software, depth charts of Georgetown Harbor, and his pride and joy was his weather program that could detect when a storm formed anywhere in the world and was able to track and forecast its path. He had 6 children and was married for 52 years to Bernadette Silva, whom he met during his tenure in Brazil. In 1954, when Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II visited, Captain Scott had the distinct honor shaking the Queen's hand and piloting the Royal Yacht Britannia and anchored it in the Georgetown Harbor. Captain Scott was a humble man who liked his khaki suit and cap and loved to share his knowledge with those who crossed his path. He was honored at the National Heroes Day, acknowledging the seafaring heritage of these islands.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the all-new Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. 'Tis the season to be merry and healthy in the Cayman Islands. At Doctors Hospital and Integra Healthcare, we're not just a hospital and clinic with a talented group of local and international healthcare professionals. We're your partners in well-being throughout the year. So may your holidays be filled with the soothing sounds of the ocean, the embrace of good health, and a commitment to a healthier tomorrow. From all of us at Doctors Hospital and Integra Healthcare, we wish you and your loved ones happy holidays and a wonderful new year.
'Twas the days before Christmas in Digicel stores near and far. Stockings were hung with the best tweenie deals by far. A 27-day bundle, it was quite an appeal. With 2 gigabytes any use data, it made Roblox so real. YouTube and Disney Plus, oh what a delight. Boys and girls were entertained from morning till night. Endless messaging, a connection so dear. Staying in touch with parents, oh what a cheer. Visit a Digicel store today, where dreams come true this holiday season.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Kirk Freeport's annual $40,000 Christmas sweepstakes is back once again. Simply spend $100 at your favorite Kirk Freeport store to enter to win one of 3 $5,000 cash prizes, one of 5 $1,000 cash prizes, and loads of other great prizes throughout December. And of course, the one you're all waiting for, the Rolex watch prize draw for all entries will be held on January 5th. All purchases of $100 at any Kirk Freeport store before Christmas Eve qualify for all remaining prize draws. Full details on KirkFreeport.com. Merry Christmas from everyone at Kirk Freeport.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britke. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Listening to the general public.
The Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
There are more questions than answers.
waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh filling in for Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We hope he's enjoying his very well-deserved vacation. And now in studio, we have the Cayman Islands Humane Society, Mr. Barry Martin, the shelter manager, and Ms. Saskia Salden, the director and volunteer. Welcome to Talk Today.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So this series, while we're going to focus a lot on the Humane Society and your services, this is part of over the next 2 weeks talking about New Year's resolutions. And so you always have the usual ones of I want to, whether it's go to the gym or I want to save more money. We have the common ones. We also have the uncommon ones. We have those who are looking to, do cooler stuff. And so we're going to be talking about some, skydiving and elements that people want to do, they want to step out into the world and break away from their shell. We have some who we had on the last segment who may want to have lifestyle changes that are far more healthier, whether it's giving up substances or adopting better fitness. And then there's ones who look to have more volunteer time. And this is where I figured, the Humane Society is always doing so much, and you're always in need of volunteers. This is an awesome segue into volunteering and New Year's resolutions. So on that note, we got to ask you the hard question then. Do you have any New Year's resolutions set? Or are you still working on them?
Personally?
Yeah.
Oh, have more time for myself, maybe.
All right, I like
which
that.
is
I was going to say the same.
It's which is not happening right now. We're very, very busy at the shelter. It's 24/7. It's always nonstop. I mean, the majority of us all have full-time jobs, and we volunteer at the shelter. Barry is one of the, he's the shelter manager, but he's also on 24/7, and I don't think a lot of people realize that, but you have to really have heart for this kind of, you have to be in it with your heart to be able to give as much as we actually do. So maybe a little bit less time chasing after people or dealing with issues or maybe less volunteering for myself, but I don't think that's feasible. No,
that's not going to happen.
We've broken
so
it
maybe
already,
we just have to skip it. No resolutions for us.
Not this year.
No, not this year.
It's funny because I was thinking that I knew you was going to ask that question, and I was thinking exactly the same. More time for myself, but it's impossible. It is. It's
as soon as you free up 5 minutes, you fill it with something else, right? There's always a line of need, right?
Working there, it is like a calling for me, really. And there's highs and lows. Obviously, we deal with a lot of dogs that are sick and poorly, but then we can, we look after those dogs, give them a bit of love, and then we get them adopted. And once they've recovered from their sicknesses, it makes you so happy to see these dogs to transition to these dogs, and then the dogs can see a better future. And it's hard to saying earlier that I'd like to have more time for myself next year. It's not going to happen. We love it so much. These dogs are everything, and these cats as well. Not forgetting the cats.
Yeah, if you don't forget the cats, you have a whole room of cats.
We have a whole several rooms of cats. Yes. It's always full. One of the things that people can do if they want to get involved and maybe they don't want to do dog walking, they can also come and socialize with our cats. We have some cats in one room that are less social, and you can spend 1 or 2 hours a week or a month, however much you have. Be a regular. We don't want people to come once and then just forget about it, because yes, these dogs need to be walked every day. Yes, these cats want love every day. So if you cannot do anything other than that, just give us an hour. An hour is good, but just be consistent and regular, and you'll get to see the difference, what it makes, and not just to staff, because it helps staff as well. We're always, understaffed, and we're always very, very busy. but you can help us, you know. We have one lady now in particular. She comes every Sunday and she cleans out the cat cages, and she loves it. You know, she takes a few kittens home here and there, and that's the fostering part as well. Fostering is in a way volunteering, you know, and it helps us to relieve some space create some space in the shelter, and that way we get to know the animals even better, and then it's an easier way to get them into homes. So there's so much that, you know, we can do with volunteers, or volunteers can do for us.
Of course, yeah.
We have so many sign-ups. You know, we have about 2,000 volunteers in our database right now, but I barely see 2,000 people show up at the shelter. I mean, I don't know if we could accommodate, but this year alone, I think we had 600 new registrations
for volunteers.
Wow. But I don't know where these 600 people are.
So they have the ambition to do it, and they don't tend to.
So that, I hope, if you make the resolution, if you do commit to it, stick to it.
Yeah.
That would be, I think, a better resolution than just saying I'm going to do it, but stick to it.
Sure.
Because, you know, we're open 365. The shelter is open Christmas
you don't
Day,
close,
Boxing Day. We never close. We may close an afternoon here and there because we need to, you know, have staff meetings or trainings or just get to paperwork.
Yeah.
Barry.
And to help our staff out as well. It's been great. We have had some really good volunteers when we needed them to come forward, because we've been short-staffed for a little while.
Yep.
So that has immensely helped us take some of the strain off of some of the staff who worked really, really hard all year round. So
absolutely,
you know, I appreciate those guys. And as you say, foster for Christmas. Get some of these animals out of the shelter for Christmas. You know, these guys deserve a break. We could have some amazing animals, some amazing dogs, really, really sweet cats at the moment. If you go into the cat room, all the cats run up to you. They just want a hug, they want some time.
There's cats everywhere.
There's cats everywhere.
We just need fosters, really.
Yeah. I don't. Barry, you were writing down how many cats we currently have at the shelter.
Yeah, we've got, so, I mean, to be fair, we don't really move from this number. So we have about 190 cats that we're looking after. In the shelter, we have around 80. 110 are in foster at the moment. Dogs in the shelter, we have around 75. I think we have maybe 85 in foster at the moment. And we always need more fosters.
Of course.
As Saskia was saying, you know, if we can get more animals into foster, we can help more animals. Because we are pretty much at capacity, but we want to help more animals. Of course. Always.
We do have one call on the line, so we'll take that call in just a moment. And when we come back from the call, one thing I want to talk about is to actually break down, because when we say dog walking or coming out for or fostering, I think a lot of times people hear it and it sounds good until they realize what's involved with it. And if you can break that down for people a little more and explain really what's involved with coming out for a dog walk, people may want to come walk the dog and they literally just don't know how, right? So those little things I think can really help with getting those 600 people to show up, right? Or whether it's kids or adults. But let's take our one call on the line. Good afternoon, caller. Thanks for calling Talk today.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon to the panel. I'm listening to you in regards to the animals, the cats and dogs and dog walk and shelters for the animals. I am asking if I could express myself as a Caymanian and a person that raised up here with cats and dogs, baby with children. Can I express myself?
You mean, how do you mean express yourself? Sorry.
Well, we're talking about dog walking. We're talking about sheltering a cat or a dog and looking for sponsors and so forth. So I want to just talk about where I'm coming from when we first started having dogs and cats on this island. Can I run my mouth?
Sure. If you have a question, or you want to tell a bit of a story about your background, you were saying.
I want it's a story and a concern. I think I would put it in that category.
Sure. Yeah, sure. If you could take 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Many years ago, we always did have cats and dogs on the island, but it wasn't plentiful, and they was well taken care of, and we had a place even named Dog City. And as the years went by, we were to having less of dogs on the island and cats on the island. And for the last couple of years now, it has come that we have to have a shelter like what the Humane Society has for the cats and dogs. I am not saying anything is wrong with it, but what I'm trying to get across is that knowing that we did have cats and dogs on this island from day one, and we never, ever had this kind of service for these cats and dogs because there was no need for it at the present time as me as a kid growing up. And I'm an adult now. I'm grown and got children and so forth. And as I see what is happening now with our dogs and cats on the island, people can walk a dog to get points for their residence or their citizenships or whatever it may be. And then we got people who are coming and collecting these dogs, especially the cats, from Humane Society, bring them into the neighborhood, let them run wild, leave their yard and come into your yard and do their little job and goes back into their yard that they lived in. Especially in the Newlands area, we got cats roaming like there's no tomorrow. I called about it some years ago trying to get some help. Didn't get any help, was told to let them know when the cats were in the area in my yard eating time, and they would bring food for the cat. But it was the word is a spade or neuter the cat, but they'll have to bring it back in the neighborhood. I'm like, excuse me, these cats not belongs to me, and I don't see why I should have to put up with a cat. Now these days that we so got a Humane Society, and there is so much money being injected into this cat and dog organization here in Cayman, and people are using this walking to get points for their papers to get their status or their citizenship or whatever the word they may use in immigration. It's all the same thing as far as I'm concerned. So what I'm saying is, it just bothers me to know that we now today has to come out here and ask for support for these animals and cats that we still got plenty of or partly of, who are now bringing in their little dogs from all over the world, and that's their pet in their house. They're not dealing too much now with the regular dogs. So I just don't understand, if we got a Humane Society, where are we getting all these dogs? And if we have a Humane Society and neutering these cats, how come we got so many cats on the island and so many loose dogs? I want to use the word loose dogs because right now they're in new shelter, but they are looking homes. But yet, every time you turn around, somebody's buying a little small house pet dog to keep inside of the house. A lot of people is not into the yard dogs like they used to be when I was a kid coming up. You understand where I'm coming from? I'm not trying to degrade you all in what you're trying to do, but it just leaves me thinking, how much more that Cayman going to sit down here and put out with all of these different organizations and look at all of these help from here and there for a cat or a dog or a wolf to get a piece of paper to say that they did their job in Cayman to get their paperwork. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Sorry, Miss?
Ms. Jen, I do. So what I'll do is I'll let you go right there so we can actually have the Humane Society address some of the concerns that you've actually raised. But I do understand your concerns. But thank you so much for calling in. Thank you, Ms. Jen. All right, so we had a couple points there that were raised. But if we deal with the core of some of the concerns, one is the Humane Society. What actually is the role? Maybe that might help Ms. Jan here. What actually is the role of the Humane Society? And then you also work with some other partner organizations as well, including DOA. If we can kind of walk through what those organizations all do as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess our mission statement is to sort of end suffering for a lot of these animals on island, and that's what we're trying to do day in, day out. I mean, over the last 2 weeks or so, I think we've taken at least 4 severely neglected animals, and they will need a lot of medical attention that we are giving them. And these are all very sweet, sweet dogs. It's no fault of their own that they've been neglected, but nonetheless they've been neglected. And quickly to address, I think the lady mentioned that dogs roaming, stray dogs. this is what we're trying to prevent. We're spay and neuter. That's, one of our things that we really are proud of doing. We do a lot of spay and neuters year in, year out, cats and dogs. And our animals are indoor animals. We don't, especially cats, definitely cats don't go out. Dogs should be on leashes when they're walked, unless they're in an enclosed area to let them exercise. Sure. So, I mean, I hear what the lady was saying, but, we're just trying to stop that happening.
Sure.
We don't want stray dogs. I've personally myself trapped dogs that were born in the bush. They live in my house. It's taken me 2 to 3 years to turn them around from being feral. Sweetest dogs in the world. So, yeah.
And then as far as the fostering animals, for those who are actually fostering, are there guidelines or requirements that you place on foster homes for how they're required to look after the dogs?
Yes. So we, for everybody that wants to either foster or adopt an animal, whether it's a dog or a cat, they fill out a form, and then one of our volunteers will do we'll do a home visit. In most cases, that's me. And then we go to the people, and when they're fostering, we give them guidelines. This is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. We do the same with the people that are adopting. Like cats, we have the policy they need to stay indoors. Sometimes that can be some people don't understand why that is, so we explain, there's roaming dogs, which again, we don't want them. We've got traffic, we've got, the people that poisoned animals. It has happened in the past. And we try to avoid that. There's other cats out there that may carry some diseases, or even fleas and ticks. You don't want that in your house. So yes, keep them inside. Mm-hmm. So we do these home visits, and we say, okay, if there's any medical issues, let us know. And we do the same when they do adopt. You need to take care of this animal going forward. We got this animal in a certain state. We got it so far that it now is adoptable. Now it's your turn to do the rest. We cannot be holding your hand for the rest of, sure, its life. And if you leave Ireland, please take them with you. That's another question that we do ask people. We do have some breeds that are not really easy to travel. They can't go to certain countries. And so then we say, if you have one of those breeds, you cannot go back to such and such place. But you have to make sure that people are aware of these things. And some people don't, and some people are aware, but then don't care, and then leave Ireland and either bring the animal back or leave it. And those are some dogs or cats that you see roaming outside. But all our animals that anybody gets from the Humane Society, they're all spayed and neutered. So we're not contributing to the problem. And I said it the other day, I don't know where all these cats are coming from. I really don't understand, because we're trying so hard, spaying and neutering hundreds and hundreds of animals every day. How is it that we still have this cat problem?
It's I don't understand it myself, because the BRAC has the same situation. There's spaying and neutering many as well, and yet we still see so many. I don't think it's as big on the roaming dog population, but there's a lot of stray cats that are still showing up. And it's
I think we're sort of we're feeling the sort of knock-on effects from COVID as well, where we couldn't go out and do anything, and people couldn't bring animals into us over that period where we're on sort of lockdown. So animals were able to get up to what they do in the wild and have puppies, and they 2 years on, they've had puppies and more puppies. Then they've grown up. I think that's part of the problem. That's not the whole problem. No, it's definitely not helped. Same with cats as well.
And then, to your point, like, you're trying to help the problem of the overpopulation of animals, right? The reality is there's more dogs than there are available homes to actually house the dogs, right?
Yeah, that's another. And there's several different animal rescue organizations on island, and each has their own little niche. And but spaying and neutering is what we all want, and that's what needs to happen. And yes, we do work, like you said, with the Department of Agriculture. We do rescue animals from there as well, just specifically dogs. And some of them are being dropped off. They're a heavily pregnant mom. We just had one, and she had 11 puppies.
And then, for clarity, for those who are out there, because one of the first thoughts when I first heard about the overpopulation problem was a culling situation. But you're a no-kill shelter.
We're a no-kill shelter.
So, and for those who are out there, what does that actually mean? You don't at all put down dogs?
We do euthanize animals when it's medically or behaviorally necessary. If we have a dog that is extremely dangerous, aggressive to even us, we're not going to be able to rehome this animal. unless there is somebody that's really very, knows how to train a dog and knows how to deal with these. We don't have those options at the shelter, so we don't have our own trainer. We do have one now, but he doesn't have the experience yet. That's when we have to, unfortunately, let them go blood up, but also when it's medically. Like I rescued a dog last week, and he was so bad he couldn't pee. He had a blockage, and the surgery he needed cannot be performed on island, and he had other issues as well. So we have to then make a very difficult decision, but I think then we need to make the decision that's in the best interest of the animal, and then we have to euthanize. So yes, in that case, we are doing what's best for the animal, and then we have to let them go. But otherwise, we don't euthanize animals to create space at the shelter. We always try to find a way, even put them in the bathroom, or we take a few more home ourselves to just make some space so we can help another animal in need.
Yeah, we try everything before we have to make that decision.
Of course.
And like you say, we try training as best we can. And obviously Saskia will look to see if there's any fosters that can potentially take the dog, depending if it's health, because we have quite a few animals at the moment that sort of palliative care. We know that they're not going to be around for much longer, but we want to give them some love before the end of the days. So we have a few great fosters that are taking care of those dogs, and then once we've tried all of these avenues and there are no more avenues, then we have to make the hard decision, and it is a very hard decision, but it has to be made.
Has to be made at some point. There is.
Yeah, and we haven't. It's quite rare, to be fair, that we make those decisions.
All right. And then before we go to our 1:30 break, the other organizations that you work with, can you walk us through a bit about what they do? Because I know some try to get dogs off island.
Yes, so we do the same thing. We try to transfer dogs off island to either Canada or the US, or if somebody's in the UK and wants a dog or a puppy or a cat, we'll send them to you. We have shelter animals that are living in New Zealand, Australia, Hong Kong, India, you name it, and we get a lot of people coming back to us. Oh my God, my Cayman dog was so great. I want another one. And then, of course, we have to reach out to people wanting to fly dogs there. We currently have a puppy that is in need of a flight to go to Los Angeles. So anybody that's traveling on Cayman Airways to Los Angeles, please contact us. She will eventually go to Las Vegas, Nevada, but of course there's no direct flights there, so that's why we have to get a flight escort. One dog at a time. They rescue animals here on island. They also send them off island to primarily Canada and US. And then you have Canine Friends. They more or less help out with pregnant mums and their puppies. Feline Friends does the spay and neutering, the trap, neuter, release, TNR. CARE does primarily educational, so they also have spay and neuter clinics once every quarter or once every 6 months. I'm not quite sure how many times they do them now, but they go into schools and they educate, which we also think is a very important part, and we're looking into expanding that with us. With our organization as well, that we're going into schools and then teach children how to take care of animals and be a kind pet owner.
Very well said. On that note, let's go to our 1:30 break. When we come back, we'll walk a bit through more about what's involved with volunteering and how we can really get those who are looking to make that resolution happen. Back with more Talk Today right after this.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles until December 31st, 2023. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Jingle all the way into the season of incredible savings and wish granting with Digicel. This Christmas, get 25% off your Prime Bundle plan or postpaid bill for the next 6 months. With plans featuring social data, entertainment data, and more, Digicel keeps you connected and entertained all season long. But here's the real magic. Digicel could make your Christmas wish come true. Win a prize of your choice, from getting your rent paid to a new laptop or even a brand new car. Visit a Digicel store today, where dreams come true this holiday season.
'Tis the season at Vigoro, and we've got all your festive favorites. From Christmas ornaments to decorations, succulents to ceramics. We've got gifts and more. Blooms, orchids, mobiles, garden accessories, furniture, even fairy gardens for the little ones. Make it a Vigoro Christmas with a gift that will be treasured forever. Both garden centers will be open on Christmas Eve till 5 p.m. Merry Christmas from Vigoro.
Deck the halls with beautiful furniture and decor without breaking the bank. Enter the Beacon Furniture Holiday Raffle and win big. That's right, shop at Beacon Furniture and you can be our next winner. With each purchase, customers have a chance to win $500 in Beacon cash. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to spruce up your home for the holidays. Join us on December 30th for the drawing at each location. 2 lucky winners will be chosen, one at our Savannah store and another at our Red Bay location. Each winner will walk away with $500 in Beacon credit. Don't wait, start shopping today. To learn more about the Beacon Furniture Holiday Raffle, visit our website beaconfurniture.ky or come by our stores. 2 locations, 32 Hearst Road, Savannah. Call 945-2348 or 386 Shamrock Road in Prospect. Call 943-2500. Good luck and happy shopping.
The Rotary Clubs of the Cayman Islands wish for you and yours a wonderful festive season this Christmas season. As you enjoy this Yuletide celebrations in fellowship with family and friends, remember those who need your shoulder. Remember those who need your care. Read a book for a child. Hold the hands of a senior citizen. Share your tasty goodies with someone in need. Be the road user you want others to be. A message from Rotary Central and District Governor David Kirkcaldy. Rotary, creating hope in the world.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That, unlike the no-gets, ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
Listening to the general public.
The Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
there are more questions than answers.
Waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And in studio, we have the Cayman Islands Humane Society, Mr. Barry Martin, the shelter manager, and Ms. Saskia Salden, director and volunteer within the shelter. And one of the topics of today's conversation is part of our next 2 weeks is talking about New Year's resolutions. And for those who are looking to make volunteering or more community service, this is one of the outlets that's available. There's many organizations on the island that are in need of volunteer support. But when we talk about this one, I'm a big fan of cats and dogs myself. Yeah. I am a foster dog. I do have a foster dog at the helm right now, and he's great. But let's break down the actual types of volunteer help that you need in the shelter, because it's not just adults you need. Kids can volunteer as well.
Kids can definitely volunteer. By law, they have to be over 16 to be able to do it by themselves at the shelter without an adult supervising them. So if anybody is under 16, they need to bring somebody that's above 18 and supervise them at all times, because we don't have the capacity and staff to monitor them. Yeah. But they can do different things. They can play with the puppies, even bathe the puppies. Play with kittens. Again, that's the socialization part of it. Anybody that wants to do something different than just dog walking or cats, they can help fundraise. fundraising is a very big part of what we do, and we always need money. I think there's some incorrect perceptions out there in the community, but it's a very, very expensive place to run, especially with Barry also saying, all these medical issues, medical matters that we have with certain dogs. A lot of dogs come to us, they're also heartworm positive. So fundraising is I mean, we don't make a secret out of it, but I think it's between 80 and 90,000 every month that the shelter costs. So we do have a thrift shop as well, which helps us raise monies. People can donate towards the thrift shop, but they can also help out as a volunteer in the thrift shop. We have a book club upstairs of the shelter. People can come and volunteer then, or even go and buy books. It all helps. Event planning, we need people doing that. There's so many other things that people can help us with. Bring ideas if you have a great idea, but then also help us to complete the idea. It's not just saying, okay, here it is, you can do this, you can do that. We're already 100% capacity. We cannot do any more right now. So if you have an idea that you want to run by us, please feel free to reach out and we'll work with you. But we cannot have people just saying, okay, you need to set up, say, a golf tournament. I don't know nothing about golf. So, I don't know where to start. So if you have connections in that area, you can help me organize that. So, but yeah, those things are very important. Laundry. Come and pick up a bag of laundry, or help with laundry. Maintenance, if you like to paint, there's always stuff that needs fixing. You can do so many other things besides just dog walking.
Can I just touch on that?
Please, yeah.
Where the lady, referring back to the lady that called about the hours, we have a lot of good volunteers that come in, not only walking dogs, but we've had carpenters come in to fix some of the building that's falling to pieces, laundry, people that are happy to clean, to jump in. With the cats and the dogs, socialising, as you say. So, we have a lot of good volunteers. We need more, always. Myself and a few of the other guys talking about like some kind of video. We'd love people to come in and have, maybe like yourself, to make videos of the shelter, like day-to-day running of the shelter. It'd be great to make one of these videos so people can see what, a day in the shelter is actually like. Yeah. It'd be lovely to create something like that because, it's a busy shelter.
Help with marketing as well, spread the word. You can donate, you can volunteer, you can educate, you can share posts from our Facebook page. If you're traveling, let us know. Hopefully we can send 1 or 2 dogs or cats with you. That is all part of it. That's part of the volunteering as well. It may not be seen like that, but it still is.
No, I think a lot of times, back to the caller, there's a perception is out there that and people don't realize how much actually goes into the operation. We talk about a 365-day-a-year operation, right? I mean, that's most businesses don't operate in that capacity.
No.
Sorry, hospitals operate at that capacity. Yeah. And so you're operating the same number of hours.
Charitable organization that we are, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, like, say, if someone wants it, they have 5 hours a month, which is and this time I don't have 5 hours a month. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
But for those who may have that time, what is involved in, say, dog walking? I know when you say it out loud, it's okay. You can grab a leash and walk a dog. But are they long walks? Are they short walks? Where are you walking? Safety?
I mean, just for dog walking, based on the temperature. I mean, it's pretty hot here, so we've got 2 fields that guys can, the dogs can go out and burn off some steam, but obviously not too long. So they can take multiple dogs, come back, grab another dog. Every dog's very excited to go out. Very
can imagine.
They can take dogs to the beach. If they want to take a dog to the beach, we're absolutely fine with that. We love dogs to experience everything they can experience that they're missing out on.
Kamana Bay, dog park.
So many places to take them.
Take them to Kaibo for the day. A lot of these dogs like to swim, so hadn't seen the ocean before and live on this beautiful island. It's different. Take them home for a couple hours. Just let them chill.
Or just sit in the cage with the dog. It depends. Again, it depends if we have a nervous dog that just needs a little bit of socialization. You can just sit with a dog, and in time that dog will come up to you. Some of these dogs just haven't had that, so just that is massive, really, for some of these animals. Cats as well. Like you say, just spending time with the cats. Obviously, you can't take those out on a walk, but
no. But I remember when I came to the shelter with my son not too long ago, you could see there was a couple kids that were actually in the room, and they were just playing with the cats.
Yeah. And that's perfect. It really is enrichment for everybody, for the animals, but also for the children, so that they learn how to be kind to an animal and how to take care of it. And it's love, affection, it's food. You need to be able to take them to the vet. It's all part of it, but it makes such a difference. 1 hour of your time can make such a difference. These dogs don't get walked Monday to Friday because we just don't have enough volunteers that don't have to work. So they're only walked Saturday and Sunday. And Saturdays we do struggle. So if anybody has an hour or two on a Saturday morning, please come. We have some very good regular volunteers, but the other day it was the two of them and they walked 35 dogs. Wow. So it's a lot for them. It's a lot. So it just takes 1 hour of your time. And in that 1 hour you can make the day of two dogs. And it'll leave you smiling as well because they're funny and you just can forget about your day-to-day hassle. You're just there with, that works for me. If I'm walking with my dogs, I forget about everything else. I don't take my phone, and it's just half an hour of just being,
Yeah. No, I totally understand it.
Yeah.
And as far as you mentioned cleaning cat cages and kind of like that at the housekeeping areas, is there any kind of training that comes in for someone who might be not?
We'll have staff there that'll oversee it.
Yeah.
It's not difficult, to be honest, to clean litter trays and cages. But we have staff that are very appreciative. They welcome people coming in to help.
Yeah.
Same with puppies. Puppies make a lot of mess. It's not a secret.
No.
So we appreciate help with those guys as well. And as I say, we have staff that will be there. Very happy to receive people.
And the hours of operation for the shelter?
So we're open 365. We open every day from 7 a.m. in the morning, but that's so that staff can start cleaning, feeding. We get animals coming into the vet clinic. So to the public, we open every day at 11 a.m., Monday to Friday. And we close at 5, Monday to Friday, except Wednesday, Thursday, we close at 1. And then Saturdays, it's from 8 to 4. And Sundays is 8 to noon. We are closed Sunday afternoon. And the cat room is also closed on Sundays. Same hours for Sundays go for a public holiday. So anybody that wants to come and walk Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, please come between 8 and 12. The earlier the better.
The earlier the better. All right. And then shifting over to the more long-term volunteer help, fostering of pets. What are some of the criteria that those who are looking to foster should be aware of before they actually get involved in this?
First of all, you need to ask your landlord if you're allowed, or if you are in a building complex that has a strata, you need to ask what are the options. Can I actually have a dog or a cat or something? Because sometimes people don't know, or they just go ahead and then there's trouble later, which is not our fault, but we can't check up on that. That has to be something that the foster will do, and we'll come to your house. Like I said, we do a home visit. We'll give you some guidelines. We're always available if you have any questions or concerns. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't happen overnight. Some of these dogs and cats maybe have never lived in a home, so you have to give them some time to unwind. It's the same thing if you take your child to the school, I think, for the first time. It takes a couple of days to get used to it. Yeah. So don't throw in the towel just yet, and you will see a difference within a couple of days. And we appreciate it if people want to foster long term, but the main goal is that these animals are adopted. So that's also some homework that we give these people, the foster parents, that they have to give us information. So pictures, videos, we can't post anything on social media without their assistance. So they can have to tell us, this dog is house trained and this dog is a bit nervous around men or new situations or doesn't like thunder. It's good for us to know these things so that we can then pass that on to whoever is really interested in adopting.
And then as far as the training and what is offered to help individuals, because there's people that may have never had a pet. Mm-hmm. They want to.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like their segue into it. They're starting into it before they make the full commitment.
Yeah.
Looking to foster. What are some of the training that you do offer people before they actually take that puppy or that dog or cat home?
We'll have a chat with them to work out what they actually want and make sure they know what they want. Some people are not quite sure when they come in exactly what type of animal. Maybe they want a smaller dog, maybe a bigger dog, maybe they want to go running, so they need a more energetic dog. So we talk through what their needs are, and we'll try and find a dog to match them. The idea sometimes is that they come in, walk a couple of our dogs, then they get a feel for the dog, and then sometimes there's a connection. And then they can always call us afterwards. We're always happy to answer any questions. I know when I first, took a dog home, I knew nothing, so it's quite scary sometimes.
Sure.
But very happy, we're very experienced to answer any question, cats and dogs. We want to get these animals out into homes for fostering, to make them more adoptable, or the foster fowl, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just fall in love and you can't let the dog or cat come back.
Yeah.
So we are happy to give any advice. Always happy to take a call.
Fantastic. And then when we come back from the break, we'll jump into more of the adopting and some of the longer term care options. Back with more Talk Today right after this.
Are you planning a social, an office party, or event over the holiday season? Make the most of your holiday party and leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway Box to Go, with the option of a 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. Cater your holiday parties with Subway. Visit subway.ky for menu options. Subway, eat fresh.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have our very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
A CUC energy saving tip. In the summer months, your AC can account for nearly 70% of your energy bill. Ensure that your AC is serviced every 3 months to ensure that it runs as efficiently as possible. With CUC, you've got the power.
Freedom, Cayman Rack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Jingle all the way into the season of incredible savings and wish granting with Digicel. This Christmas, get 25% off your Prime Bundle plan or postpaid bill for the next 6 months. With plans featuring social data, entertainment data, and more, Digicel keeps you connected and entertained all season long. But here's the real magic. Digicel could make your Christmas wish come true. Win a prize of your choice, from getting your rent paid to a new laptop or even a brand new car. Visit a Digicel store today, where dreams come true this holiday season.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Listening to the general public.
The Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman. Waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
Welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, you may have missed my joke just now, thankfully. But I'm Ray Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And please have in studio from the Humane Society, Mr. Barry Martin, the shelter manager, and Miss Saskia Sullivan, the director and volunteer. And we're talking about New Year's resolutions, and one being volunteering. And I think this coming year, many people have a number of new resolutions. We've seen so many of the other ones that have come and go, and I think this year we're going to start seeing a little more, a different style of resolution. And so I think one of them, for me, was at least volunteering or giving back more. And I'm a big fan of the Humane Society and the work that you're doing to help dogs and cats. I'm not a cat person, I'm a dog person, but I know you do both. And so we were talking about dog walking initially, and for those who only have a couple hours that they want to get back, then progressing up to the longer term, short, medium term, which is fostering dogs and the work you do. And you help with providing food as well in the early stages and heartworm pills and their vaccinations as well. So dogs are still getting their treatments, their medical treatment from
whatever the dog needs, we will provide.
As long as the dog is in foster. Once it's adopted, then of course it has
then
to
the
go.
Cost absorbed.
Then it goes to the owner.
Sure.
To the adopter.
And so once that emotional bond has been formed and adopters or homeless feel like they can adopt their pets, what does that process involve? Is there any changes, major changes from the foster stage to the adoptive stage?
Once you've been approved by a home visitor as a approved foster parent, and if you then want to adopt, then you're just ready to go. You just have to come in and pay the adoption fee, and like we said, it includes deworming, vaccinations, microchipping, and spaying or neutering. And we also start with the heartworm treatment. So any dog that comes in, 7 out of 10 dogs that come in are positive. We start with that treatment. Heartworm is easily prevented, so we encourage everybody that has a dog to give them their monthly heart guard. Prevention is better than cure in this case. And then they just come and they get a few discount vouchers and they medical records, and they have to register with their vet, and then off you go. You have a new best friend for life.
You have a new best friend for life. You have a new home bodyguard as well, and
exactly,
changing
an animal's life is great.
Yeah, it is. The unconditional love that you receive from these animals, and especially the rescued ones. Sure, they know. And I'm not saying anything bad about other animals, but to us, the best breed is rescue dog. It's and same for cats, especially if they come from areas or places or history that they weren't treated right. They don't live in the past like we do. They live in the moment, and
they very much are very present in that moment, right? Yeah. They forget what happened 2 seconds ago.
And they just want to love and be happy. And it's so nice to come home to a dog if you had a bad day in the office or something, and you come home and he's so happy to see you. And then, like I say, you go for your little walk and release your stress, and it's good.
And then as far as when you mentioned flying dogs off, how can people help when it comes to that? Like, what is involved? Because it sounds logistically like a nightmare, but I don't know much about
it. No, not a nightmare.
Absolutely not a nightmare. Simple. Very, very easy. We do everything to the point where, so we obviously need escorts to help get animals to rescue partners or adoptions overseas. We will walk you through everything. We do all the paperwork. We'll walk you up to the counter of the airport, put the animal on the conveyor belt to go onto the plane, to the point where you go through customs. That's up to you, and then get to the other end. I think the animals, if it's not a carry-on, the animals will be there by the conveyor belt in Canada or the States. You just wheel the dog, cat out. It's really simple.
And then who collects the pets on the other side?
So it is actually one of our rescue partners, or it is the adopter themselves. We send a few dogs out to states, Connecticut, Massachusetts. 2 blind cats went up that way as well, and they drive to JFK, which is why we only want to send them with Cayman Airways. They're great. Thank you very much. They can carry animals in the hold year round, whereas not all other airlines can, and some airlines will not allow animals in the hold or in the cabin. WestJet can do it during the winter months because it's not too hot in the hold then, but we can send cats all year round, or if it's a small enough dog that will fit under the seat in front of you in the cabin. But it's super easy, doesn't cost anything to the person that's flying. You have to be on the flight. We're not paying for your ticket, but we can't do that, but we do have to actually pay to get this animal there. So if it's an adopter on the other side, they will pay all these fees, but if it goes to a rescue partner, we have to fork up the money. And sometimes if we have quite a few, then Cayman Airways will waive the fees, which is excellent. We love that. But yeah, it's and even not just off island, between the Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman, we also bring the animals here or bring them there if people want to adopt there. So Cayman Airways is wonderful. But it's an easy process. Very so easy. You just have to let us know 2 weeks in advance, because that's how long the paperwork and etc. Takes. And then we'll just put everything in motion, and we'll meet you at the airport, like Barry said, and help you all the way.
And how many pets can you take at one time?
Sorry?
How many pets can you take at one time? Is there a limit?
So, for instance, to Canada, when we can put dogs or cats in a hold, if you've got two small dogs from the same household, they can go in one kennel. They can take 3 kennels, so they can take 6.
Oh, okay.
And if you're willing to take a carry-on, that's 7. So one person potentially can take 7 animals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Doesn't normally happen.
Doesn't normally. I can imagine.
It can happen, and we do
Okay.
appreciate it. I mean, look, we're still after new rescue partners overseas. So if anyone knows of any rescue partners that are happy to work with us, we obviously do our due diligence working with them. But we'd love to hear from other centres. Obviously, our animals go all spayed and neutered before we send them. We don't want to keep. We want to stop the problem continuing, so we make sure they're all fixed. But going back to your question, it is very, very easy. We take all the stress out of it. I mean, because I know if I did it myself, how I would feel from not having the experience.
Yeah,
I
of
have.
course, yeah.
I would probably be very nervous. So I try to, I understand how they would feel. So, yeah, it's simple.
I have done it. I've done it several times, and it is as simple as we say it is. It really is, and it makes a difference. I took 2 puppies up to JFK a couple of months ago, and I actually went to see them at the shelter where they were, and this was an amazing shelter on Long Island, and they ended up on national TV in the States. It was an adoption event, and I'm like, hey, that's our Cayman pups. It's great to see. So it really makes a difference.
It's amazing how much goes into it.
Yeah.
Because at first glance, you think it's okay, a couple dogs in the shelter and that's about it, right?
No,
but
there's
there's
more
a
to it.
full-on operation that's actually going on behind the scenes.
And people can help us with that as well. We need people that can take these animals to the airport, because now it's Barry doing it on his day off, or me in between work. Like I have a lunch hour and I'll do it Saturday, Sundays. It's going to take you an hour. If you want to help out with that, that's another way you can volunteer, or help with the paperwork. We know people maybe want to help us with administration. Let us know. We've got stuff for you. Yeah. You might even be doing certain things at home. You don't even have to be at the shelter.
Sure.
So it's you name it, you can help us.
Absolutely.
But we need volunteers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of like one example which crosses a few things we discussed: DOA, animal welfare. So we had a dog recently that came from DOA and severely damaged eye, which had to be amputated.
Oh, wow.
And then we had an adopter from overseas contact us. Just fell in love with the dog. They flew down, collected the dog, took the dog back to the States. I mean, for me, like talking earlier on in this conversation about the rewarding experience that we do, that's a dog that really didn't stand much of a chance.
Absolutely.
And now and I know the home that the dog's gone to, the dog's going to have a fantastic life.
And it was an older dog as well.
Yeah.
And it was a black dog as well.
A little bit overweight as well.
Yeah.
Very overweight.
Yes.
All right, on that note, let's go to our 2 o'clock headline news. When we come back, stick around for a few minutes.
Sure.
And we can give some contact information on how people can actually get in touch with you. Back with more Talk Today right after this.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The National Roads Authority's Phase 1 of the Airport Connector Road will open this Friday, December 22nd. Officially named the J. Bodden Highway, a ribbon-cutting ceremony will take place at 10:30 a.m. with Phase 1 of the J. Bodden Highway opening to the public at noon the same day. In international news, Rudy Giuliani, a longtime associate of former President Donald Trump, has filed for bankruptcy after just days after he was ordered to pay $148 million in a defamation case. He was ordered to pay the sum after a judge found he defamed 2 Georgia election workers over false claims they tampered with votes in 2020. Mr. Giuliani listed debts as high as $500 million and assets of $10 million in the filing. A judge in Alabama will decide if a new method of execution using pure nitrogen gas can be used for the first time. 2 other states are considering the method as an alternative to lethal injections after a spate of botched executions in the U.S. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. 'Tis the season to be merry and healthy in the Cayman Islands. At Doctors Hospital and Integra Healthcare, we're not just a hospital and clinic with a talented group of local and international healthcare professionals. We're your partners in well-being throughout the year. So may your holidays be filled with the soothing sounds of the ocean, the embrace of good health, and a commitment to a healthier tomorrow. From all of us at Doctors Hospital and Integra Healthcare, we wish you and your loved ones happy holidays and a wonderful new year.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Brand Source Home Gallery is having a huge sale on all brands of kitchen and laundry appliances, just in time for Christmas. Shop the month of December and save. Get 15% off ice makers and 20% off wine coolers and beverage centers. Spend $4,000 or more and receive bigger discounts for every $1,000 spent. You could receive up to 20% off. Save big on all kitchen appliances, including laundry, on all brands. Visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
What's going on?
When they don't know what they want for Christmas, where do you go? Cellular World. When they do know what they want for Christmas, where do you go? Cellular World. When you need a new phone, where do you go? Cellular World. Who has the biggest selection of phone cases, headphones, and accessories? Cellular World. Who has the best service for mobile phone repairs? Cellular World. This holiday season, shop Cellular World, Cayman's one-stop shop for phones, accessories, and repairs. Located in Baytown Plaza, West Bay Road, across from the wharf. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Cellular World.
Listening to the general public.
The Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
there are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman. Waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Ray Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And as we said at the beginning of the show, this is our week of Christmas giveaway, and we have a $100 CUC gift certificate up for grabs right now. Very easy question. If you were listening to yesterday's show, we showcase an event taking place on December 31st. If you could first call in and tell us what that event is taking place on December 31st and who the artist is, will win the certificate. Phone lines are open, 949-6990. Off to the races. Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll wrap up our segment here with the Humane Society folks. I do want to say thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So let's quickly run through again the list of options that are available out there for those who are looking to volunteer in 2024.
Mm-hmm. So people can, first of all, walk some dogs, socialize some kittens, help us with laundry, fundraising, event planning, maintenance, cleaning, just general cleaning, being a flight escort, just come up with ideas to help us raise more money, which again is the fundraising. There's all kinds of things. Taking pictures of the dogs and the cats so that we can use that for their profiles on the website or Facebook. Any people with marketing experience, help us in that area so that we can get the word out there. Teach your children to be kind, educate. There's so much.
It's a good life experience
Yeah.
For youngsters. Great on a CV.
Yeah.
Helping for a charity.
Absolutely, yeah.
I
know there's a lot of high school kids that need like community service hours as well, and and so getting a few extra hours on the weekend.
Exactly. Come Saturday, Sunday.
If anyone can think of something that we're missing that they could implement and help us.
Yeah.
Because we have some great ideas, but it's actually getting the time and getting the people to do them. But if someone has a fantastic idea that they could help, as I say, implement, fantastic. Yeah.
And then any major events coming up in the new year?
So the Walk and Whack, which is the 5K Walk and Whack, I organize that as well. It's probably going to be in February. I don't have a date yet, but I need to sit down and figure out what a date is. Then we have our main event, which is the Fur Ball. That's coming up on the 24th of May at the Kimpton. That's our main fundraiser. So I don't think...
That's Fur Ball.
That's the Fur Ball, yes. So we haven't done it this year. We just didn't have time to organize it. And this year was also our 50th anniversary.
So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. So Humane Society is 50 years old now. So that's Fur Ball. And other than that, just small adoption events. Just we go along as we need it. But fundraising is very important. Like I said, it costs a lot of money to run that shelter, and a lot of medical cases. And just people, you can reach out to us. Our phone number is 949-1461. It's a number I can say it in my sleep. 949-1461, or reach out via email info@caymanhumane.org, or check our website www.caymanhumane.org.
And then for those who are not aware, where is the shelter located?
Next to A.L. Thompson. I think everyone seems to know where A.L. Thompson is. North Sound Road, next to A.L.T.'s.
Yep.
Right next door.
Right before you make that left
Blue building.
Blue building. Mm-hmm. And then as far as like dog walking routes, they can actually come and they can pick a dog up and take him out for a day, trips?
Yeah, as long as they sign the dog out so that we know who has which dog, and your telephone number so that we can call you when it's time to go home, that you bring the dog back. It happens that people fall in love and say, hey, I want to keep the dog overnight. That can happen too. So we love those things. Dogs can go for sleepovers, weekends. If you want to take a dog for the weekend, pick him up Friday, bring him back Monday. Perfect. So, dog walking every day. If you have an hour, let's do it.
That's the new parties you should be implementing. Birthday parties where you just take 10 dogs to the birthday party. Mm-hmm. Everyone plays with the dogs for a couple hours and then bring them all back.
I think we're doing a yoga.
We did a yoga, yes.
Yoga? Oh, really?
And we did some with kids as well at CIS school. Was kids puppy yoga. Don't think a lot of yoga was done, but it was a lot of fun. I think the kids had fun. Yeah. So and the puppies had fun. Yeah, it's any new ideas. We're happy to work with you guys, and call us.
No, I love it. Thank you so much again for coming. I really appreciate you guys.
No, thanks for having us.
Taking time to coming in, and I know 2024 is going to be awesome year. So if anybody that has some video skills, you were mentioning.
I would love. There's something we've been thinking about. I mean, I did one video, and I know we talked in the break about someone that knows what they're doing can do a video in like an hour or two. Where it takes me 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We did a video of a dog that we rescued that got 70,000 hits. Now I'd love to do more of those videos about how the shelter runs, a day in the life of the shelter. I think that would be a great video.
I will keep that in mind. I'll mention it to Phoenix. We'll see what he says about taking on the project. Yeah. Anyhow, folks, thank you so much again for coming. I really do appreciate it. Again, for our listeners out there in Radio Cayman Nation, we have a $100 certificate for CUC. First caller to call in and tell us the name of the event that we showcased on yesterday's show, taking place on New Year's Eve. Another give you a hint, being organized by Williams Productions. Alrighty, on that note, we're going to send it back to our studio for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we do have open line scheduled for the rest of the show. If we don't get any callers, then we'll be wrapping up a few minutes early. Miss Aska, thank you so much. Actually, before you leave, what was the New Year's resolution again? Get more time?
Time for myself,
Time for myself? We're going to make it happen, right?
I'll try.
All right, Saskia, Barry, thank you for coming in, and all the best for Christmas and New Year's.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, send it back to the studio. Send it back to Miss Susan in the studio. Bring it back for more talk today after this.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come and let's praise the Lord. Come and let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite. Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
Country classics.
One night of love don't make up for 6 nights alone.
No one could steer me right, but Mama tried. Mama tried. You cheating heart. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. I'm a honky-tonk man.
Country classics.
She's a good-hearted woman in love with a good time tonight. On a Sunday morning sidewalk.
If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
I'm so lonesome I could cry. I'd love to wake up in your arms tomorrow, but I'm so afraid of losing you again.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Country classics.
Welcome to story time.
Merry Christmas.
Is it Christmas yet?
Looking not today, Bobo.
Hey, it's DJ Lynn, and in the true spirit of the season, just want to wish you and your family peace and joy, wishing you all the gifts of love, friendship, and good health. May love, hope, and happiness be yours at this holiday season and always. Happy holidays and season greetings with all the best for the new year.
Merry Christmas.
Listening to the general public.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Because
There are more questions than answers.
waiting to take your calls right now.
What the public is saying.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Again, this is Ray Singh filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Still up for grabs, we have the $100 gift certificate for CUC. First caller to call in and tell us the name of the event we showcased yesterday on Talk Today, taking place on New Year's Eve by Williams Productions. That's your second hint. And third hint, it is the gospel event of the year. Call in, tell us the name of the artist who will be performing at the event on New Year's Eve. Another quick Santa sighting this afternoon. The Coca-Cola Eastern District pop-up event is taking place at the Cox Lumber parking lot. That's this afternoon, Thursday, from 4 to 7 p.m. We do hope the BRAC event yesterday went well for the Cayman Paws and Claws event, and Santa had a good time over there. I do love this time of year with all the Santa sightings that are taking place and all the Christmas events. So we'll give everyone about another minute or so to call in for a certificate. If no one does, we'll just tack it on to tomorrow's. Tomorrow's we'll be giving out a Digicel phone. Now we do have a special show tomorrow. None other than Mr. Loxley Banks joining us to talk about Christmas in Cayman and the history of Christmas and some of the customs and traditions we've seen over the years. I know when we announced it yesterday, Miss Cita May bought and sent over pictures of her backing sand photos and with her thatch baskets. And I love seeing all the old photos that come out. I know on Facebook, there's a couple groups that are showcasing various old-time photos, and I love seeing all the old photos of Christmas that pop up on Facebook. Okay, we do have one caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. Thank you for calling Talk Today.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. So are you calling in for the certificate?
Yes, I'll try.
All right. So I'm looking for the name of the artist that's coming in for the gospel event on New Year's Eve by Williams Productions.
Is it Guy Penrod?
It is Guy Penrod. Congratulations. Thank you so much. You're a proud winner of a $100 CUC voucher.
Thank you.
And what is your name,
Merry
sir?
Christmas. I have the same name as you.
Ah, you're a Ray as well. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So stay on the line. I'm going to pass you back to Miss Susan.
All
if you can
right.
give her your full name and number, and then you can pick up your certificate here at Radio Cayman.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations, sir. Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.
All righty, so that's going to be the tail end of our show. Again, for those who are looking for a little bit of extra excitement this afternoon, the Coca-Cola Eastern District pop-up event is this afternoon from 4 to 7 p.m. at Cox Lumber parking lot in Boddentown. Again, I want to say a big thank you to our guest this afternoon from Mr. Brent Hayes from the Hope for Today Foundation, Miss Sutton Burke from Infinite Mindcare, Mr. Barry Martin from the Cayman Islands Humane Society, the shelter manager there, Miss Saskia Salden, the director and volunteer of the Humane Society. Tomorrow on Talk Today, we have the special show with Mr. Loxley Banks, which I'm really looking forward to, showcasing history of Christmas in Cayman, some of the customs, some of the how things may have changed over the couple of years as well, and some stories. I know he's been putting together a fun show for us for tomorrow. And then next week, looking more into more New Year's resolutions. And we have a whole bunch of guests lined up for next week talking about various New Year's resolutions and how you can help accomplish yours. So again, congratulations to Mr. Rayburn Kelly for winning the $100 voucher. On that note, we'll call it a wrap for today's show. Thank you again to all of our guests and to Miss Susan Watson, who has graced us with her presence again this week. We've missed her. On behalf of the entire Radio Command family, thank you for tuning in today's show. I'm Raymond Singh. God bless and have a safe and enjoyable rest of your Thursday.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.